Chief Minister.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And today in question time, the opposition showed great curiosity and interest in the CLP's plan to rebuild the Territory's economy and the Territory Coordinator, which is going to be a game changer for how we do business here in the Territory. And so I thought I would use this opportunity in adjournment to highlight exactly why this is necessary. And I was very concerned, Madam Speaker, in question time because of the level of the question that the opposition were asking. And it sounded to me, Madam Speaker, like this is an opposition that hasn't understood that the Territory needs to grow in order to survive and then succeed. And it sounds to me, Madam Speaker, like this opposition is very content for the Territory to continue to be the worst performing economy in the nation, as it has been for 5.5 years under this Labor government. And so I want to put on the record, Madam Speaker, how determined we are to reduce crime, rebuild the economy and restore our lifestyle. And we have already taken so many steps to move all of those goals forward. We've just spent 2 weeks in Parliament with our Reducing Crime package, which is the start of a long road ahead to reduce crime across the Territory. But we've also delivered on our commitment around payroll tax, which is kick-starting our rebuilding of the economy, starting from 1 January, where an additional 200 businesses will not pay payroll tax, allowing them to invest further in the Territory, employ more staff, grow their services delivery and their businesses for the benefit of the Territory's economy. We've also got out the door on the 1st of October, just weeks into our government, the homegrown Territory housing grants. And we've already seen 68 people have that dream of home ownership come through being successful in their applications for these grants. 68. And so on top of that, Madam Speaker, the next phase for us is absolutely the Territory Coordinator, something we took to the 2020 and 2024 elections. There is no secrets or surprises about this being a CLP policy. And in fact, we even tried to pass legislation to establish one in the last 4 years. And so, I want to be really clear about a discussion paper that my department has put out, and it includes the land councils, all 4 land councils. It includes Legant, the local government organisation. It includes the Northern Territory EPA, the Environmental Protection Authority, the very people tasked with overseeing environmental protection across the Territory, the Heritage Council, and the list, Madam Speaker, continues to expand and it continues to grow. What we will not do is maintain the status quo. And it sounds to me like Labor are still content with the status quo. But if we do not do things differently, we will not get a different outcome. And we have been given a mandate to deliver change. We desperately need it with the level of debt that Labor have saddled Territorians with the way how they have broken our service delivery, whether it's in health, whether it's our police, our teachers. Everyone in the Territory is needing additional support after years of Labor neglect. And we are not happy. We are not happy to maintain the status quo and our position on the ladder as the worst performing economy in the country, which is why we are continuing on our home build, on our payroll tax with Territory Coordinator. Madam Speaker, on Monday, the Under-Treasurer will be out giving a public lecture about the state of the Territory's economy, where we're at, where we need to go. And we're very, very proud to be communicating with everyday Territorians around the importance of economic growth. It's very, very important. And what our Territory Coordinator is looking to achieve is around growing investment in the Territory, development in the Territory. We haven't had any major projects delivered in the last 8 years under Labor. Many of the projects on the list were inherited by Labor from the former CLP government. many, many years ago, Madam Speaker. And to go to some of the points in what we're trying to achieve with the Territory Coordinator, this is about making sure that we have a program of works for businesses. It's about making sure that we have projects of significance that are supported and facilitated through the system. The system doesn't work, otherwise we would not have the worst performing economy in the nation, Madam Speaker. It looks at establishing territory development areas, precincts, perhaps like Middle Arm, that are designed for certain industry or certain agricultural development, and then can have coordinated approvals processes across that development area. We're looking at making sure it's an independent statutory office. We're also putting out there a primary principle. And I just want to read part of that principle, Madam Speaker. That is that the Territory Coordinator, and I'm paraphrasing and now I'll quote, is required to have regard to the primary objective of driving economic prosperity for the Territory, including consideration of the economic, social and environmental outcomes of the project for the Territory, including the overall balance of positive and negative impacts and the implications of any outcomes at a Territory level as well as in the locality of the project. As an overarching principle of the Territory Coordinator's mission to make it easier for people to do business here in the Territory. And that it will have powers. We've been very, very clear at that. So what we're seeking feedback from organisations like the Land Councils and the EPA and the Heritage Council and industry is about the ability to direct and coordinate information across agencies, to request information from relevant agencies, to undertake public consultation, the ability to require certain information from project proponents, to prioritise, progress, decide on projects, step in where decisions are taking too long. I mean, the list goes on and on, Madam Speaker, about the opportunities before us. And this is not some brand new CLP made up fictitious thing. This has been tried and tested in other jurisdictions whose economies are advancing, moving forward, where their population is growing, where their people's wealth is growing, where the ability to deliver services is increasing. And so, Madam Speaker, I wanted to put it firmly on the record that we are proud and determined to make sure that the Territory Coordinator is fit for purpose, which is why we are being open and transparent and seeking feedback. This has not even come into Parliament yet, Madam Speaker, and so it will still then have to go through all of those usual processes of the Parliament, of scrutiny. The legislation will be tabled, everyone will get to see it. What we want to make sure is it is robust and fit for purpose, that it is going to drive the change that the Territory so desperately needs. Because the CLP was not elected to maintain the status quo, Madam Speaker. We were elected to deliver important reform and change in 3 key areas: crime, economy, lifestyle. And that is exactly what we have set out to do. I gave a report in the Parliament today outlining all of the election commitments we've already delivered on, all the progress we've made, what we're working on next, and that work will continue. And as I've said, despite the success of passing our reducing crime package over the last 2 weeks, it doesn't represent the end. That is just the beginning for our team. That is just the beginning. There is so much work ahead of us over the next 4 years. In all of our portfolios, in all of our electorates, people are hurting, people are unsure and uncertain about the future. But if there's one thing I know, and the feedback we're getting, is people are encouraged by our decisiveness, they are encouraged by the demonstration that we are taking action, they are encouraged by the fact we are delivering on what we promised to them we would do. And so we will continue to push forward, challenge the norm, not follow along with business as usual, not take any advice or pages out of Labor's playbook. Because if what Labor was doing was working, I would not be the Chief Minister, the CLP would not be the government, and we wouldn't be having this conversation in the first place, Madam Speaker. So I am very, very proud that we are pursuing the Territory Coordinator. It will be bold, it will be brave, it will deliver better outcomes for the Territory's economy and in turn better outcomes for the Territorians who put us in this position to govern for the betterment of everyone, Madam Speaker. Thank you.